freshly dropped album, Until the Sun Drowns, this band is rocking the world louder than ever and not falling into the pressures of what their genre should sound like. Flight Club hails from Richmond, Virginia, and are here to impress. Their sound is truly innovative, and I'm very excited to be chatting with them. Welcome, Charlie.
Hello. Howdy. I don't know why I was like fully prepared for like a soundbite of like, yeah.
You know, I could have. I could have. There's a way to do it, but I think it's a little cheesy for me.
I'm a cheese ball, so I guess I don't know why. This is where my brain went.
Next time I'll remember to do it, don't worry.
Yeah, there you go.
So just to get us started, what was the last thing you listened to?
Oh, let me pull up my Spotify. Oh, it was Taking Back Sunday.
Oh,
It was
heck
Taking
yeah.
Back Sunday. Let me see the song. It was there you go. 180 by Summer. I don't know if you can hear that blaring in the
I did.
background. Yeah. And then Psychedelics in LA by Peach Pit came on right after that.
Oh yeah. Heck yeah. I've recently gotten into Peach Pit and it's kind of changed my life.
They're
Um,
rad. They're rad. I'm not the biggest fan. Like I only know I don't want to say I'm not the biggest fan. I only know a few of their songs,
yeah.
but I'm going to Firefly,
Oh heck
and they're
yeah.
playing Firefly, so I'm
They are,
very
yeah.
excited to catch their set.
I know. I was debating on going because I've never number one, I've never been to a music festival, and number two, it's
Really?
so I'm in Maryland, right outside of DC. So
Oh,
it's
nice.
it's so close. So I'm just like,
That is
man,
pretty close.
it's a
I think that
shame.
they're still selling. I think they're out of weekend passes, but they're selling day passes. I'll be there
Don't
Thursday
tempt
through
me.
Saturday. My girlfriend's playing. You can come hang
Oh
out with
heck
us.
yeah. Do you want to
Yeah.
plug? You want to plug real quick?
Yeah, check out Peach Face. She rocks. It's like indie pop. It's really cool. So I'll be
Yeah.
seeing Peach Face and then Peach Pit. I think they're different days though. But yeah, come through, come hang out. I'll be in the front row dancing. It'll be
Heck
good.
yeah, heck yeah. Love the support. That's awesome.
Yeah. No,
um, I've been really into the band Camino's new record, which
I
is
haven't checked it out yet.
I mean, I'm biased, but I've been a fan of them for a while, so it's like I'm biased to say that, but I think it really like hits all the notches in my opinion.
Let's go. Okay. All right. Yeah. I it's another band that like I know few songs of, but love the ones that I do know. And one of the
Yeah.
things that I envy from them because we're a band that likes to pull from all of our influences, and
Hmm.
it can get a little chaotic sometimes, and other times I think we can do it well and it's cool. But they're a band that does this like modern. They do like a mix of like modern pop and modern rock, but like the guitars are still ripping, and
Yeah.
I really, really appreciate that from like a musician standpoint. So I definitely have to check that. I've been sleeping.
Come on, get up, wake up.
I know. Tomorrow morning, tomorrow it'll be my work music. I got it.
It's a great album. I mean, again, I'm biased, but it's a great album. But you guys are from Richmond.
Yes.
Now I say I'm from DC. I'm not from DC. I'm from the outside area. So is that kind of similar for you guys?
Yes, with the exception of our drummer Harry.
Okay.
He was from oh gosh, not why am I Chesterfield, which is just south of Richmond, but Richmond. But
Right.
he's the closest. Me and our bass player are cousins, and we were both born in Maryland. Actually,
Let's
um,
go.
I want to say I was in like Prince George's County.
That's where
I
I
can't
live. Let's
remember.
go.
No way. All right, so
Yeah.
I was born near there.
PG, let's go.
Um,
All right.
yeah, I moved out when I was 3 or something like that, though. So I'm
Yeah.
Maryland born, Virginia raised, but
Hmm.
grew up like all over Virginia.
Hmm.
Moved to Richmond to go to VCU back in 2015. So I'm working on my 6th year now.
Congrats.
Sam, thank you. It's been an honor to be here. Um, Sam, our guitar player, he was in the same boat. He grew up in Amherst County, which is like 2 hours west of Richmond.
Hmm.
And he, same thing. He moved to Richmond. We met through a VCU music group, and Alex wasn't in the band. We all like joined at different times. Sam was the founding member, so
Yeah.
he was the last one to come to Richmond from I almost said Florida, from Maryland. But now we all very happily call it home as long as Richmond will let us call it home.
Heck yeah. So growing up, how much did you interact with the Richmond scene?
Not at all.
Not
To
at
be
all. It just
completely
kind of
honest with you,
happened.
no, I went to one show in Richmond before I moved here, and it was like the Wonder Years were headlining the National, which is like the big venue
Yeah.
here besides the Coliseum. And I think the first time I ever came to Richmond, I was helping someone. They were going to VCU. I was helping them move from one house on the street to another house on the same street.
Hmm.
We were passing by a place called Strange Matter, and it had this really awesome like logo front, and I couldn't figure out what it was. Like I was just like carrying chairs. Like what is this place? It said like arcade, carry out, vegan. Like I was like, is it a arcade or does it have food? And then all of a sudden there's all these like dudes in like denim vests lining up like smoking cigarettes. And I'm like, what are
Yeah.
these guys hanging out in an arcade for? And then the front door opened and I heard live drums, and I was just like, holy shit, that's a venue. It's
Yeah.
right there. I went to high school in Fauquier County, Virginia, which is like pretty middle of nowhere. Not as middle of nowhere as Sam had it in Amherst, I think. But I drove to Springfield, Virginia, up near DC, to go to
Hmm.
venues to play
Yeah.
shows and stuff with my bands, like at the end of high school and out of college, or like beginning college before I transferred to VCU. So when I got this cool like urban environment, there's tons of art and tattoos everywhere, and then I see like right on this street that my friend's living across the street from is a music venue. It
Yeah.
just blew me away, and I was like, "That's it. I'm coming here," and try to go as many shows and stuff as I can. We have tons of friends and bands from like all different kinds of like genres and stuff. So
Hmm.
try to stay as involved as we can outside of what we do in it as well.
Of course. That's awesome. I always think about like when people talk about their like growing up music scenes and stuff like that. I
Mhm.
didn't involve myself in like the DC scene or like the Baltimore scene, and like I regret that because I'm like, what the fuck? Like there was all this stuff happening. I mean, of course I'd go to
Yeah,
shows like 9:30 Club and Black Cat and stuff like that, but it's you know to be young and be able to like kind of grow up in it. I feel like is such
yeah,
a magical thing, especially like being able to watch bands grow in front of you. Not to say I can't do that anymore, but to be able to
right.
like, you know,
Get that
grow
like
up in
early
it.
on, grow with
Yeah,
it kind of thing. Like,
exactly.
oh, I remember when, you know. I
That venue, man, I'm so
Do
sad it
you go to
closed because,
DC shows a lot now? Or I
I
guess
mean,
COVID, obviously, but
well, I graduated college in December 2019 and then moved back
yes,
home. So I moved here. There was 2 months
right,
of me. I went to one emo night and like one all-time low show, and
yeah,
then all of a sudden everything shut down. But the plan is to, of course, go to shows
yeah.
again and like
Did you go to college in DC or?
I actually
Uh,
went to college in Florida. So
oh, whoa,
yeah, so I got to like I did get involved in the Tampa scene a little bit, and then I moved to Orlando, and Orlando has a bigger punk scene, which was very cool. So Smart Punk is down there, which
oh,
is
right,
yeah. So I actually kind of interned for Smart Punk. It was like a weird thing, but I hung
yeah.
out there a lot.
That's awesome. Oh my
um,
gosh,
yeah,
that's really
so
cool.
being able to like be a part of the scene I think is so magical, and I know that you guys are quite big, and you guys did a release show in Richmond
Yeah.
in August, which I can only imagine was great. There was a great lineup. How was that celebrating in Richmond?
It was unreal, honestly. Like it was our first show. I think we were managed to sneak in an early March show before everything really shut down last year. And so it was our first show in probably a year and a half. We had finished a very, very big majority of the album before the shutdown. We recorded majority of it in February, did another song in March, and then actually did another song in December. Um, and so we'd been sitting on it forever, and we've been practicing for as long as we could
Yeah.
after shutdown, and just like knowing no one's heard the album, but also like we've developed new ways of playing the songs and added new fun little like flourishes and stuff like that. And so we were like, booking the show, and we were wondering how it was going to go, and then doors opened and we just saw everyone coming in, and it blew us away, and the support was incredible. We had a ton of our friends. Shout out to Shot Clock, Dead Friends, Wild Truth, and Keep Flying, who played the bill with us. And I think right before I went on stage, I was one of those things where I just couldn't drink enough water, no matter how many like waters I downed. My mouth was dry, like my heart was pounding. Like I don't. I don't even want to say I was nervous, because I wasn't. I didn't feel nervous, but it felt like I was like about to have a panic attack.
Yeah.
I was like, "How do I do this? It's been so long, like since we got out there." And then we got on stage and rang out a chord and said, "What's up?" And I was like, Oh, we're back. All right, let's go. So it was unreal. Honestly, when I think probably the best show we've played in terms of performance on our part and the crowd interaction and everything. It's fantastic.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And congrats on a great record.
Thank you.
And you just played Blue Ridge Rock, which
Yes,
was, I've seen pictures. I haven't been able to watch any performances, but it looked insane.
it was
Like,
wild. It was
absolutely
wild.
insane.
It's wild being there because it's kind of like you said. Like I hadn't been to too many like festivals either, besides like Warp Tour, which we all
Yeah.
grew up going to. But Warp Tour is kind of like a small festival that goes all over, and like when you have these massive festivals that just stay in one spot for a weekend plus, and they have names as big as like Limp Bizkit was supposed to play. I think they dropped, and the Offspring took their place. It was like
No big deal.
Shinedown. I was really excited to see A Day to Remember.
Heck yeah.
Tons of crazy bands. Papa Roach, like Under Oath, like crazy. And I remember we were walking up, and we like had a like almost like I think a 2 mile walk from where we parked our car to when we got there. And we finally crest this hill, and we thought we saw the crowd, and we were like, "Oh, that's a lot of people." And then we realized that that was just the food court, and we like went further over the hill and saw the stage and just this massive crowd of people. I think like
Jeez.
Tech Nine was playing. We are just like, whoa, like we're here. This is our weekend. We play Sunday. Let's get it. It was great. We made a ton of new friends, made a ton of new fans. Our turnout was great. We were lucky enough to play 2 sets on Sunday, and honestly, like I had a great time. I don't know if you've seen any of the reports. There were people who had not had such a great time there. They were calling it like Blue Ridge Fire Fest. Uh,
Nice. Okay.
and
Interesting.
yeah, yeah, and I think most of that had to revolve around the camping situation, and then I
Oh.
think the parking. But we showed up kind of late the first day, and um, kind of felt like once you were in the gates, everything was solid. Beer was $6, and normally at festivals it costs you like 20
What?
to get a beer. So we had a great time.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can't get a beer for $6 at a local restaurant, let alone at a
Exactly.
venue.
So
Jeez.
yeah, it was unreal. The stage was very large, and it was one of the like dustiest festivals or shows I've ever been to. A lot of people kicking up dust, just the I guess the geography, and so playing on stage, we would like do some kind of dance move or jump or something, and you'd land, and one of your feet would just keep sliding, and you're just like, all
Oh
right,
no.
I'm good, I'm upright. It
Man,
was
that sounds
fun.
amazing.
Yeah.
I and was it all one stage or was there multiple stages?
There is 5. There's 5 stages, and then there is this circus tent in the back, and this I believe it was called the Hellza Poppin' Sideshow Circus or something like that. And they had all these awesome people doing these incredible circus acts. We befriended a few of them. One of the dudes, Ben. He was on America's Got Talent. It was like he did a bunch of crossbow stuff, and he was
Okay,
like
yeah.
shooting balloons out of like a gymnast's hands and like feet and mouth.
Jeez.
It was crazy, but they were holding acoustic shows there as well.
That's so
So
awesome.
yeah, it was cool. It was really cool. Everywhere you went, there was some different music playing. It was honestly a pretty good spread. It was mostly like hard rock, but there was like a lot. Like I said, like Tech Nine was playing the first day, A Day to Remember, and then like a bunch of like, for lack of better words, like butt rock bands. Like, it was great.
That's so cool. And so you guys released this record, and
Mhm.
you've signed recently to Open Your Ears, and you released your
Yeah,
EP Recreational Love, and the producer was Alan Day, who is in 4 Years Strong,
yeah,
if I'm not mistaken,
yeah,
which is sick.
yeah. Cool
How
dude,
was that?
great ear for music.
How was that? How was that? Especially because 4 Years Strong is such like an iconic band.
Yeah, it was great. Honestly, and to be honest, that was actually our second EP that we did with them. The we released one, I think it was way back in 2017 was when we released it. And I can't remember. I think honestly, he just put out that he was starting to produce more, and we shot him an email, and he said, "Yeah, let's do it." And Sam and our original founding drummer Tony we're both huge fans of 4 Years Strong. I'm pretty sure
Hmm.
I had like heard of 4 Years Strong. I had heard a few of their songs, but Sam's the one who like really was like, no, like these guys rip. Check out this band, and like really turned me on to them. But But it was awesome. He's up in Massachusetts, so it was a little bit of a hike for us, but
Hmm.
it was kind of a cool experience to get away, a new area, new region, and just write. You know, like obviously we weren't working while we did it. We weren't hanging out with friends. We were just together and writing. And like I said earlier, that dude's got a phenomenal ear for music, and we would sit down and like go through so many different variations of the same song before we were like, this is the one, which taught me a lot about writing and production and stuff as well. So it was great. Alan's a cool dude. We keep in touch on occasion.
And looking at Until the Sun Drowned, who was the producer on that record, or was it self-produced?
So that was Will Beasley. He
Okay.
was actually up in Bethesda, Maryland, but just
Heck yeah.
recently relocated to Richmond. He did our label mates record, House and Homes record,
Hmm.
and we were hanging out with him in his new studio here in Richmond, listening back to like the mixes and everything with House and Home. And I remember we were all just sitting there like, damn, like this dude, like this sounds incredible. Like the quality, like the songwriting, all of it was so good, and it was such a great step up from for our friends in House and Home from what they had produced before. And Adam, who runs Open Your Ears Records, him and Will were kind of getting closer and closer. And when Adam talked about signing us, we had already recorded Recreational Love, and he said, he's like, I want to record you guys, and he said he wants to sign us, and put out our records. And we were like, okay, we have this EP, and he was like, I want to release that, but I want to put out your first full length, and I want you to go to Will for it. And we're already fans of Will, so we were like,
Yeah.
all right, like,
Pull my
okay,
arm, why
yeah,
don't you?
let's,
Yeah.
let's give it a go. Let's give Will a shot. And that dude's the man. He's very chill, and like every day we would just like show up to his studio at like 9 or 10, and he'd just be sitting in his chair, and he'd like turn around, and he'd be like, "Oh, hey guys," he's very soft spoken, and just like, "Oh, what's going on, man?" Like, "Hey," and then we'd hang out, write music for like 6 hours, go get Chipotle because that's all he
As you
eats.
should.
um, Came back, ate a bunch more, wrote a bunch more, and we worked him for a month straight, just every day in the studio. First 2 weeks just writing, next 2 weeks plus, because we kind of went over on time, actually like tracking and polishing everything. And he's a cool dude. His band actually, he plays in Wild Truth, who was on our
Mhm.
record release show. Great band if you haven't checked them out. Kind of like pop rock. It's really good.
Heck yeah.
Definitely
Heck yeah.
check him
That's so
out as well.
awesome.
Yeah.
I love looking at producers and who's produced what, and looking at like essentially the stems of who does what. And I'm a
Mhm.
big Jack Antonoff fan, so looking at everything he does, and I've also found a lot of other producers that I really like, and now they're gonna slip from my head. There's
Yeah, of
another Maryland,
course.
yeah, Maryland producer, Matt Squire, who I really like,
Yes, yeah. He did that
whose work is
that
sick.
first all time low full length, right?
Yeah, he did, and he's
Yeah.
done stuff with the Maine. I think he did the Maine's "You're Okay," if I remember correctly.
I think he might have
But
done also Can't Stop Won't Stop by
yeah,
them.
I know he's worked with them multiple times, but it might have
Yeah.
been, yeah.
Yeah, I remember
But
a crazy
he's
story.
phenomenal.
Like they said that one of the songs it's like Kiss and Tell or something off that
Hmm.
record. He said he was going through and like he was like, this song sucks, this is okay, we can work on this one. This one's great, this one sucks. And then he like turned around and was like, you guys don't have a song in 3/4, and they were like, no. And he was like, all right, I'm gonna get a burrito, like work on the song in 3/4. And they were just like, okay, I have to do that. And he called them after leaving the studio, being like, okay, let me hear it, and to play like a demo of the thing. So I think that sounds brutal, and I kind of want to. I've always had my eye on Matt Squire. Like I would love to
Really?
try to work with him and
Let me put
get
in a
that
phone call.
weird. Yeah, yeah, Allie, set it up. You
Let me
know.
make some calls.
Yeah,
I've actually have plans of reaching out to him for the podcast because I would love to talk to him because he's done
that would be
not
awesome.
only those records I'm not thinking of that I know that I think he did one of Tonight Alive's. If you remember
Okay.
Tonight Alive.
Yeah. Oh
Um,
yeah.
okay, good. I feel like it's a fever dream for some people. I talk about Tonight Alive, and if you remember Versa Emerge, I don't know if you're gonna
Yeah.
remember Versa.
I remember
Nobody
Versa.
knows.
Yeah.
Nobody
Yeah. Yeah.
remembers.
Yeah.
I'm just
Tonight
like, come on.
Alive. They had that like I feel like they went through that like corn phase, right? Where all of a sudden they put out a music video and they were in like like a cage, and she had like not dreads, but like I don't know, like braids or
I
something.
I think that was, yeah, that was Versa Merge. That was Fix It
Okay.
Zero. I was a huge fan. She was
Yeah.
like my blueprint of my emo years, I swear to
Yes.
God.
Yes.
But like I said, like I love looking at producers, so I'm interested to listen to who you said, Will Beasley, who
Will Beasley. Yeah.
what was the record again that he did for your
He did a
lady
House
night?
and Homes record. I'm gonna mess
House
it
and
up. It's like find light. No, feel love, find sense, make light. Something I can't remember. It's like a three-part thing, and I always
It's
ad
words, too
lib
many
them in the
words.
wrong spot, you know. But
I'll
he
have to
also
check it out.
yeah, he did. He self-produced the Wild Truth stuff that they just put out, and we know a couple bands who he is working on right now who haven't put it out yet, who we're friends with. So keep your eyes peeled on him because he's putting out some cool stuff. He probably has a website somewhere, but I'll forward you his social media so you
Okay.
can find it.
I'm very curious. I'm very excited to listen to it. And on this record, not only is there such like a variety and growth that is really impressive, you guys also have like incredible visuals to go alongside it, like the ice cream truck, and there's a roller skating rink, and you're in the Wild West.
Yeah.
But I do want to talk about Comeback because there's obviously a revolving theme around mental health, and
Mhm.
included in the video is, or in the details of the video, are a number of resources, and I think that's an amazing way for using your platform. I think that everybody should have a should they have a platform, they should like use it in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Um, and the video was beautifully done with the choreography, and like typically choreography, obviously isn't done for this like genre like
Right.
side of things. So I thought it was really unique. So do you want to talk about kind of the inspiration behind number one, the song, and then also the video?
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, starting with the song, that was a song that I wrote. I had lost two of my friends in high school, or post high school, to suicide. And I started writing that, I guess I began writing it after I lost Kenny, who I actually played bass, or he played bass in a band with me and my buddy Josh right when we got out of, or, I'm sorry, high school. And I was kind of sitting alone in like my friend's house and playing their guitar, and kind of came up with this like the guitar part for it, and I really just kind of the whole song kind of fell out of me all at once for the most part. And then it was always one of those weird things for me where I never even really wanted to release it, because as someone who is like pursuing music as like a career, it kind of I don't know why, but part of me felt this like I don't want to benefit in any way, shape, or form from this. You know, I just had
Hmm.
this weird mentality of it, and we were in the studio, and it was just our drummer Harry and I and Will, and I just kind of started playing the riff a little bit, and they were like, "Oh, what's that?" And I just like was like, "Oh, it's this thing I did a while ago," and I like kind of played it for them, and they were both immediately like, "Let's work on that right now." And then so Sam and Alex got to the studio and they were like, "What is this?" And I was like, "Oh, you guys don't remember this? It's this thing." And I guess I forgot to show them the song, and they were like, "No, we've never heard this. This is cool." And so ended up kind of diving into that and discussing it with them, and having released it, you know, now connect us versus a thing that was a solo experience for me, because it's really unfortunate how many people struggle with mental health, and even more so how many people have lost someone to suicide or contemplated or had these feelings. And so when we released it, I was excited and I was happy with how it came out, but I still had that kind of worry. And the reaction to it was incredible. And in Flight Club fashion, we like to pair everything with a visual if we can. So we did the music video is directed by Rachel Reinhardt, and shot with Ian Hurdle. And they both have an awesome catalog. I definitely recommend checking some of their stuff. Ian just recently worked on all of the Turnstile stuff, I believe, the
That's
videos
sick.
that they released. And we reached out to Kenny's mom, and the bass guitar that Alex is playing in the video is actually Kenny's. It's the bass that he played with us in the previous band and everything. So it was a really awesome thing for me to have that there, and for all of us really. And I was kind of nervous about it. You know, I felt odd like reaching out to his mom, and wasn't sure how they were going to take it. And they were incredibly supportive and thankful of it. And so it really showed me that like through these hard experiences and loss of life and you know, these dark moments, we really aren't as alone as we really feel. And so releasing it, we wanted to make sure that we provided anyone who watched it links to say like, hey, if you're experiencing things and you don't have anyone to talk to, here is somewhere you can reach out for professional help or just anything really. And we try to keep it as extensive as we could, including like I believe we had some like veterans links in there, like drug addiction issues, domestic partnership issues, that try to make sure that anyone who needed help could find something that might assist them there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And the video is so beautifully done, and I loved the choreography element to it.
Yeah, big ups to Rachel, because we kind of came to her with a broad idea, and very quickly she was like, "I want to try this thing. I have these dancers," and I think we were like, "Dancers? Like, wow! Like we've never even like I wouldn't have even considered it, you know." But
Right.
the way that they are able to tell a story just through like their physicality and motion was incredible. I'd never seen anything like it.
Yeah, and I love the video so much, and specifically for that. And I think that, again, like for lack of better terms, genre of things. There's so many songs that do have those heavier elements. So I think that it's incredible that you guys are able to provide those resources and really be there for like your fans. Because I know is like when I was very much in my younger fan age and 12, 13, of course, like, I went through my struggles, and like being able to see people that I looked up to use their platform and talk about it. And I think of the notorious Warped Tour photos of people writing like statistics on a cardboard box.
Yeah, I
and, like,
remember that.
that, looking back, I don't know, that was like the best thing to do. But like that was something that always made me feel like less alone. And granted,
Yeah.
that wasn't talking to me, it wasn't interacting with me, but it was, that extra element and that extra step to like, say like, hey, like we're here too, like that's okay. So I really adore that you guys did that.
Yeah, I mean, and there's another cool thing with this. I think like right now, they are kind of wiping away with the stigma of not talking about it, and I know I have my days where I don't feel great, and I will get in that mentality of like, I'm fine, I just got to get through this thing, and if I let that go on for too long, someone can be like, hey, like, you good? And I'll just like shatter, and it's not good to bottle those things up. And so I'm happy that society as a whole right now, and I think like through music especially, we're kind of doing away with that, like, I don't know, muzzle on it, and we're saying it's okay, people feel this way, and let's talk about it. Let's talk about what we can do. It's beautiful.
Heck yeah, especially after this year.
Yes.
And your other videos, looking at those, they're just so unique, and I love that.
Thank you. Yeah.
Do you guys? So I know you've worked with a couple creative companies. How do you bring them the ideas? Do they bring you how has that worked for this last couple videos?
Yeah. For these last few, most of them have been us coming with a pretty drawn out idea. The comeback one was very loose, and then we did, I believe, 3 videos this last time around with Altamira and Altamira Film Company. They're actually based out of Richmond, and we had done our I guess it was technically our second music video, but it was our first budgeted music video through them as well. And for that one, we really didn't have an idea, and we just kind of came to them and said,
Yeah.
And so for these last 3 that we did with them, we did Adolescence, Dust Bunny, and High Roller with them, and then we did Better Homes with Spencer Cease, I think he's located out in California now. For the most part, we had these unfortunately detailed ideas. Being like, okay, this snare hit, this bottle gets thrown and breaks, and like, So big kudos to them for putting up with our crazy brains. A lot of it is our drummer Harry. He just has that like visual thing. I think if the band doesn't work out for us, like he should go into like marketing or advertisement, because he's got the brain for it.
So COVID gave you guys the opportunity to really have extra time and space on this
hmm
record. With that being said, what was the one goal you guys had with this record to really take the time and put the extra notches on?
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this: do you mean in terms of the extra time that we were given, or just with the record as a whole?
With the extra time given and isolation and stuff like that.
Yeah, so we didn't know what to do. We finished the record. It was in our eyes, it was done. And we were listening back through, and there's one song that we put on the record that we were just like, I don't know, we weren't sure if it accomplished what we wanted it to accomplish, and then everything shut down, and we were like, well, what do we want to do? Because we recorded in February. We wanted it out probably around July of 2020. So like, well, we don't know what's gonna happen. Our tour got canceled. What do we want to do? And it got brought up a few times about maybe trying to record another song to replace that song that didn't quite get to where we wanted it.
Hmm.
And so we did. We went back and we talked to Will, we talked to Adam, and we said, "Yeah, we have this time. Let's work it out." And we went back in and we recorded another song, which I don't know if we've said yet in another interview. So exclusivity. That new song became "Good Company" on the record, which is like right in the middle way of it. And we were very very excited about it. And once again, we were like, "Okay, we finished the record. This is awesome." And we didn't want to release it in July because it was made very apparent shows weren't happening. We had kind of seen our friends put out music, we'd seen other bands put out music, and it didn't. It's not that it didn't do didn't do well, but it didn't do great. They weren't able to
Yeah.
tour on it. It didn't become this iconic new era for the band, and it still might. We have friends. We're playing House and Home's late record release. They released their music right before COVID came through and swept
Yeah.
the nation. So we're getting to play their release show a year after the fact, and I'm really excited to see how everyone reacts to all these songs live. But so we were like, how do we connect with people? Because that's what we're gonna miss. We didn't want to not do anything, so we came up with the music video ideas. Harry had came up with this joke for adolescence. The first lyric is, so I went down and parted ways, and he was like, I don't know, man. It sounds really southern. It sounds like you're like tipping your hat. You're like, well, I went down, and then that just snowballed for him. And he was like, yeah, it's like you walk into a bar and this happens, and then this, and then at the down, like the doors kick in and it's the Outlaws. And then he just took it and ran and just came up with this entire music video. So that adolescence video, kudos to Harry, like that's like probably like 80-90% him. Um, but yeah, so we just said, okay, music videos. We know these incredible directors, producers, videographers. Let's instead of releasing the whole album, let's just release a single and see how it goes and do a video to connect with it. And then in a few months, maybe we'll do another one. And so that's why we had so many videos come out for this album, even before the album was out. And we want to keep that going because we think now that we found something that we really enjoy doing, I want to keep giving that to people. And then come December, right? We had released. I want to say we released Adolescence and Dust Bunny, and we had recorded the video for Comeback, I believe. I don't think we released it yet, but I think we had recorded it, or maybe we were about to. I can't remember. But anyway, Harry he had planned to go into the studio with his friends and record some drums for a record, and they weren't able to do it, but the time was already blocked out, so he was just kind of like, hey, Flight Club, I have time at Will's studio. Do you guys want to hang out and maybe work on another song? And we actually did something different this time, and we brought Will to us. We came to our practice space, and we just hung out. You know what I mean? We just like had some drinks. We were just like chilling, just like playing music, and we were like, let's just play and record everything and see what happens. We went through a couple ideas, and the one that we landed on that we ended up going in to record was Another Great Unknown, which starts the record, and which kind of really threw a curveball in there. And so we ended up recording that and listening back through it, and we put it at the start of the record. And to us, it wrapped it all in a bow and like just said, okay, that's now it's done. Like you didn't realize it wasn't finished, but now that we do this, it's like this like whole like it feels done now, and it was cool for us too because it gave us more time with the existing songs, make little tweaks, edits, know how we want to mix it, and B, Another Great Unknown pulls references and lyrics from the rest of the album, and it kind of sets this up as this. It's like it's like beginning where you ended, but you didn't know that was where you were gonna end yet, you know. And I don't know. I really like that we were able to do that. I think that while it probably the momentum with everything we were doing, it would have been better or it would have been good for us to release it in July like we planned and do all the tours that we had planned. But I think given the circumstances, we made the best of a bad situation.
Do you think that's going to change your future, the way you look at your future recordings and other albums that you start to produce?
Yes and no. I've thought about that actually. Um, I would love, I would love the opportunity to have that, like a more fluid recording process. Like if I could, if it was feasible for us, and so like knock on wood, hopefully it will be. Whenever we go to record our next album, I would love the opportunity to do it at a leisurely pace. To an extent, I do think that some of our best writing, some of my best writing, comes out of us being like, we're writing right now, and we have to do it now. It just puts you in the zone. You're just ready to rock. But if we were able to somehow capitalize on a mix of that, of like, we're just gonna write and we're gonna play and we're gonna jam and we're gonna do whatever, and then when we know we have it, we record it on the spot, and then we jump to the next song. I think that would open our minds up to a lot of new like directions, or new sounds that we might not have played with yet. So yeah, I mean, like if Matt Squire gives me a call and he's like, "Hey man, we're gonna take 2 or 3 months. We're gonna go and we're gonna hang out at this, I don't know, cabin or beach house studio, and we're just gonna hang and we're gonna write for fun, and we have the ability to get a month away of recording a song and say, wait, this is what it's missing." That would be awesome.
Yeah.
So who knows? Who knows? I hope it does. I hope it works out that way.
Let me go.
Yeah, give him a call. Or even like, I wonder what would happen, thinking out loud, I wonder what it would be like to record like half of an album, sit, and then go back and record another. Like,
Yeah.
would that open up new possibilities, or would it feel like two separate album or EPs jammed into one album,
Interesting. Report back. Let us know.
Yes. Yeah. Another experiment.
Next one. Let's do it. So I'm gonna have another one following up about, you talked about different sounds and experimenting. You guys have a very unique sound as it is, which is incredible. And
Thank you.
in this day and age, genre fluidity is so common, and it's so hard to put anybody in a box at this point, which is incredible. And I love that because everything I listen to like bleeds. I think when I think of that, I think of Grayscale. I mean, they put out this most recent record, Umbra, which is more lighter and not as heavy as their previous stuff, which like a lot of people probably pissed off. But there is the group of people that do like it, like myself.
I love Dirty Bombs is like fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, Babylon is like fire, but
we had to see them at Sad Summer. Me and Harry went up and caught their set in Philly, which is their hometown. So it was really cool seeing.
That's awesome. I saw them. They did the Side Summer, and I somehow ended up in Norfolk, and I went to Norfolk, the show in Norfolk, which was great. It was the day before the album dropped too, so they played like some good stuff, and I was like, hell yeah.
That's awesome.
But in regards to Flight Club, how do you guys moving forward? Is that more experimentation? Do you want to lean more towards one side, or is it kind of just like whatever comes to us? We want to write what we want to write, and what's going to make us happy.
Yeah. To be honest with you, it's Flight Club really is 5 cooks in one kitchen, and so there is a lot of like, every now and then we'll be stepping on each other's toes and being like, no, I don't think that should be how it goes. No, I think it should be more like this. And we felt that a lot in recording the most recent EP, Recreational Love, just because we had 5 songs to do it, and that was it. And that's why you have such a spread of going from like Discount Drugs, which is this kind of like lo-fi rock punk influence song,
Mm-hmm.
to like All Hell, which is just super loud guitars. There's like a breakdown where Alex like screams over the whole thing, and it's really heavy, but then it has this huge like anthem rock chorus. To then the last song on the album, Yours, where it starts out with keys, and just like this like kind of like synth organ thing, and like really compressed tight drums, and poppy repetitive vocals and stuff, and like sitting next to each other on a 5-track EP is a little hard. It's a little soon to jump from one thing to another, and going into Until the Sun Drowns, we kind of we wanted to ride that, though. We wanted to say, okay, we set ourselves up for being able to do whatever we think. We can go from All Hell to Yours. I think we set ourselves to the array of genres that we listen to.
For sure. That's awesome. And before we hop into the game, with the nature of your band name, Flight Club,
Yeah.
what is one rule you have for all of your fans?
Ooh. Okay, the one rule I have is to not say Fight Club. I thought you weren't supposed to talk about it, because let me tell you, at Blue Ridge this last weekend, every time we'd hand someone a sticker and be like, hey, we're Fight Club, come check us out, they would just assume Fight Club. And it's like, I thought the first rule was, and we'd be like, you're the 32nd person to tell me that today, sir. Thank you so
We
much.
get it.
Yeah. Which is, I guess, poor foresight in our boat, but we're here now and we got to stick with it.
I think that's hilarious. I was like thinking, I was like, I'm gonna throw it in there.
I like
Probably
that.
heard that before. Sorry.
No, actually, I haven't. And in that manner, that's a great question for us. What's the one rule? I'm gonna go and ask the other guys what their one rule is, and we'll throw it up on like Twitter or something and tag you.
Sick. Report back. I'd love to hear it.
Hmm.
So do you want to play the game Quick Pick, where I make you quick pick a song in a specific scenario, and whatever song comes to your head first, let's hear it.
Oh gosh. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna be so bad at this. I already know.
It's okay. It's okay. Just to make you feel better, I picked all of my songs already.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
Sorry, I have the upper hand here. Um,
Right.
so there's only three. Don't stress. The first one is you're walking in the middle of the woods at night. You can hear
Okay.
everything, the branches, the bristles, whatever. It's kind of terrifying. And this song comes on, and you are tenfold freaked out. What song is playing? I naturally picked "The Sound of Silence" by Disturbed.
I would pick I can't remember who it's by, but it's a song that's like tiptoe through the window.
Oh,
It's in like, I think it's in Insidious maybe.
just like the creepiest like little thing.
Yeah, he's got this like crazy high like vibrato voice. It's freaky. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's called Tiptoe Through the Tulips.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay. Well, we won't hold you on it, but the
Yeah.
singing helps.
Yeah.
So number two is you're playing a sport and you've made it to the big leagues. You're able to pick your walk-up song. What song are you gonna pick? I love the song called "Hey There Cowgirl" by Palm Springsteen. It's a really small artist. They have two songs out. I don't know how I found it, but it's like very much like rock and roll. If you think about Jet, it's very like Jet
Oh.
energy.
Ooh.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right. That's awesome. You gotta link me to that, because I definitely
I
you said
can.
Hey, was it Hey Cowgirl by who?
"Hey
Palm
There
Springsteen?
Cowgirl," Palm Springsteen. Yeah, they have
Okay,
like
I'm
two
gonna check
songs
that
out.
out. Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm tied between two. In college, a lot of us would pick "Second Sucks" by Day to Remember, because it just comes
Yeah.
out that guitar feedback coming in, and then like the Mortal Kombat like fight, and then it just like drops. I actually think I have a buddy who did MMA who came out to that song.
Oh heck yeah.
So I'd probably either do that or "Girls Just Want to Have Fun," because I think that would be hilarious and would put me in a great mood and ready to throw down.
I think it'll put everybody in a great mood.
Yeah.
Shout out Cyndi Lauper, honestly.
Yeah, right. I'm trying to get my band to cover that song. Don't tell them I told you. But if everyone could tweet us, say "Cover Girls Just Want to Have Fun," that would be
Listen,
great.
we'll try and make it happen. Number three, the last one, you have the chance to pitch a song, and it can't be yours, to the biggest music exec in the world. What song are you picking? I'm picking "Adolescence" by Flight Club because you can't pick one,
Oh,
and I love "Adolescence" by him.
oh man, this is so hard for me. There's so many different ways that like I want to like take this. Um, Honestly, I think I would pick maybe maybe Teenagers by My Chemical Romance.
Okay, okay.
I think that that's like the perfect route. Like if I couldn't do Flight Club, honestly, it's honestly just what I want to do with Flight Club. Like I want to be able to be rock and roll as hell and just have some like real cool like southern rock guitar riffs, but then put like
Yeah.
a nice like layer of like emo and punk over it and just ride that through.
Heck yeah. That's awesome. That's a great choice.
And that thing
Um,
rocks.
and I have one final question for you.
Yeah.
Musicians have the ability and the platforms to leave marks on the world in various ways, either bigger or smaller. What type of mark do you want to make as a band?
I've always said that I just want to make people smile. I think that we're all goofy dudes and we don't like to take ourselves too seriously, but, we like to have fun and, we like to try to look cool sometimes. But I think that when people come to our shows, all we want to do, they don't have to mosh, they don't have to jump, they don't have to do anything. But if they could just sit back and like smile and like bob their heads, like that's all I want. So if we can extend that to the fullest, whether that be like, going places and helping people and like setting up charities or just saying, hey, here's a CD, give it a listen on your ride home. And if it helps that ride, then we did our job.